It's the weekend, whether it's a Friday night or a Saturday night. You just finished a lovely date with your significant other, whether you was at a movie theater or you was at having dinner with your significant other. And now it is nighttime and you want to spice up the sexual intimacy part of your relationship. You don't want to go back home to your bed, or you can't go back home to your bed, to where you want to spice it up in a different way and do things a little bit different. And you want to please your significant other in an atmosphere in a more sexual intimacy way. Where do you take them? The nexx motel. What's up to everybody out there? Welcome to another edition of the Roundtable Talk. I am your host, C Money, and in this episode, we are going to be giving you an in-depth outlook of the history of motels, especially here in the South Florida area, and we're going to be talking about the intimacy, adult-only motel things, and we're going to give you a depth about this. This location here is the nexx motel in Homestead. The original location I wanted to do the episode at didn't have the room that I wanted to do it at, so I ended up coming here. But we are going to check and see if this has what I want in this location, and we're going to now fast forward so we can give an in-depth information on this motel and the other ones. Okay. Now here we are going to get our room. We're in room 12, which is downstairs. We're going to go check our room now. This is the key. I'm going to go inside the room. I'm going to show you the room. It's basically, we're supposed to have a jacuzzi room. Let's go check it out. Let's check it out. Oh, you tap it and it opens. And this is what a jacuzzi room. Oops, close the door. Now let me give you an in-depth outlook of, or give you an in-depth of motels. Now back in the 90s, and I know motels date back to probably the 1800s and 1900s, but back in the 90s, motels was branded as a place where that was a low budget. It was kind of sort of as a low budget hotel that was only basically that most of the motels was based off in the urban black areas where, you know, for like 20 to 40, maybe $50, you end up getting a room for a whole night, you know. And then started in the early 2000s and mid 2000s, motels started branding themselves as, hey, let's start doing intimacy motels or intimacy times. What intimacy times is basically, I'm cleaning it up for you, is where you get you can rent out a room for an intimate amount of time, whether it be 2, 3, 4 hours, and you and a significant other can share that room for a few hours. That means you're there to make love, have sex, whatever the case may be. And as years grown by, a lot of these hotels, including this one, started popping up to where they started adding more amenities to it. Because you know the regular motels just had a TV, a bed, a bath, doing a shower and stuff. And now you see this. You have a bed here, you have a TV, this is a jacuzzi, this is the shower, and this is the sink. This is modern day, and now we're going into the bathroom or the toilet area. Now, nexx motel is one of the first few, well, there were several motels throughout Miami-Dade that did branded themselves as intimacy motels, which meaning that you can get them for like 2 hours and you can only pay like 15, 16, maybe $18, close or $20 an hour, you know, for 2 hours, maybe an hour or 2 hours or so. And then, you know, they just had regular rooms. And then there was other motels that that started branding jacuzzi rooms to where, you know, you can get jacuzzi rooms and stuff like that in the room. This specific motel, nexx Motel, opened up in the mid 2000s, and what they started doing was they started branding. What they started doing was transitioning some of the regular motels that was the, you know, original motels. You know, motels where you pay your money and you get a room for all night. And they started buying some of the original motels and started renting them and started revamping them to intimacy hourly motels, to where, hey, we're going to start doing these motels that, you know, you get them for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, how many hours you want, you know, because a lot of people, they don't want to pay for the room all night, you know, so they just want to pay for the room for a few hours to have intimacy with their significant other. Most of these rooms are basically used for different types of people. There are about 3 or 4. None if you are a girlfriend and boyfriend who don't live on your own, like you have a roommate or you live with family and you're not allowed to have company over like that, and you can't, you know, you don't have any intimacy, privacy. This is one of the rooms. Number 2, if you want to spice up your relationship and go to a room that has different type of amenities, like a jacuzzi, and you know, there are several rooms. Like this one has a light. I don't know if this light operates. Let me see if this light operates. I see the window is cracked. Let me see if this light. Yes, this is a light for a switch for that. You know, and you know, I've been to rooms that had dance poles, and they also have a radio, which is here, and some rooms where you can, you know, hook up your Bluetooth. Nexx Motel was one of the few that started rebranding their locations to where they started adding amenities like jacuzzis and, you know, dance poles and stuff like that. There were other hotels that was probably doing it, but this was one of the first motels that I've actually visited that had these type of amenities. There's another location. There's another company called the X Motel. You know about the X Motel because back in 2022, I did an episode at one of their Orlando locations when I was coming back from my Atlanta trip, and I did an Orlando video of my overall trip. And remember I told you when I did a layover in Orlando and I had to stay at the Motel X. They have that. Now the Nexx only has South Florida locations, well, Miami locations. There are no locations. There was one of these companies that was going to have a location in Fort Lauderdale, but they did not complete the task. But all of the locations from the Nexx and the X Motel locations, this one is the Nexx. Nexx has several brands of motels. They have the Nexx Motel, they have the Unique Motel, and they also have the Yes Motel. Now, Nexx Motels, there are several ones. This is the Nexx Homestead. You have the Nexx US 1, which was the one I was going to go to, but they had only a few jacuzzi rooms, and they didn't have a lot of them, you know, and it was all booked. So I said, let me come here. This is the one. This is the first time I've ever been to this one. I've been to the one on US 1 because I took my girlfriend there one time, and we ended up going there. And at that time, they didn't have a jacuzzi either, so we ended up getting a regular room. And then there's the Nexx Biscayne, which is the newest one, which is in North Miami. And there's the Nexx Okeechobee, which is off of Okeechobee Road in Hialeah. And there's the Nexx Southwest 8th Street, which is basically in the Little Havana area. One of the Nexx motel locations got rebranded and sold off to the Motel X company. That's the one that sits in Liberty City. We'll probably do a video, and it's right down the street from the Martin Luther King Metro Rail Station. So we'll probably be doing a video at one of them. And the Unique Motel, it sits down the street from the Nexx Hialeah location off of Okeechobee Road. And the Yes Motel is about a 7-minute drive north of this location, because they have a Yes, which is also in Homestead too. But it's, if you Google it, it says about a 7-minute drive and about an hour walk. It's not going to take you an hour. If it's only 7-minute drive, it'll probably take you 20 to 30-minute walk there. So I wouldn't say an hour walk, because Google have you saying that. Now, one of the amenities that the X has that the Motel Nexx doesn't have is the X has snacks in the room and they have drinks in the room where you can get a beer or you can get a soda or like a Gatorade or something like that. And then once you leave, they have to check out the room to make sure you didn't get none of the snacks. You know, like an honor bar, or stuff like that. And then they say, oh, you took something out of the room, you got to pay for it. Here they don't have that. They have snacks at the front counter where you can or buy your snacks. But I normally just go to a corner store or a convenience store or something like that and get my snacks so I can have it in here, so I won't have to be going out back and forth for things like that. Now, a lot of these motels, a lot of these nexx and Motel X motels used to be regular motels. I know the one that I told you about in ooh, excuse me, sorry about that. The one in Cutler Bay, which is on the next US one, used to be the Kent Motel. And the one on Biscayne Boulevard used to be called the Sun and Surf, or Sun and Surf Motel. And if you Google it, it'll still tell you the Sun and Surf Motel off of Biscayne, because that just recently opened up about maybe a year ago or so, maybe a year or two ago, about a year ago. So I visited for my birthday as a birthday treat to me. And that motel is the more updated version than all of these. You see, this one has a remote control for the TV, and it has that. They have a little tablet that is, embossed onto the stand that is like embedded into your location right here, where it turns on the lights, the TV, it controls the radio, it controls everything basically. But it doesn't control the jacuzzi, but it controls most of everything in here. So that is more of a technique. And then the Unique Motel is another motel that I took my girlfriend to, and I was supposed to get. They have one of they call it Unique Motel for a reason. They have a pool inside of the room in their rooms. They have a room where they have a pool inside of there. If you go look on Instagram and look up Unique Motel on Instagram, you can see the pool. But when I got there, I learned that they had themed rooms. They had a cave room and a jungle room. We actually did the jungle room, but sorry to say, we went back later on to go do the cave room, and they took away the themed rooms and they made them into color rooms. Which I mean by color rooms, that each room has a color. Like, there's only two of them. There's a blue room and a red room. And of course, I went back as a treat of my own, and I wanted to try out the color room. And of course, I did blue because blue is my favorite color. And it was phenomenal. Like, they have big old, they look like balloon lights, and they're color, and they light up the room blue. You can check it out on Instagram. Look up Unique Motel on Instagram, and they have the picture of the pool room, and they have other pictures of the rooms, and they also have the picture of the blue room and the red room. Now, the red room might be a little bit more kinkier because, red means, like sexy and all that and kinky. But blue is my favorite color, so I tried the blue room. But I really want to do the cave room. There are some other hotels that do have themed rooms, like the cave room and the jungle room and other types of rooms like that. Those, you have to look them up, and they have them here in South Florida. They're in different locations, but these rooms are basically rooms for like intimacy times of stuff. I'm here by myself. I'm not bringing nobody. I have a girlfriend. She watches she watches the shows and stuff like that. So I don't want y'all to think that I'm cheating on my girlfriend. I just wanted to do a show because this was recommended by a few viewers to say, hey, why don't you do videos of the intimacy of I call them intimacy hotels, what I'm saying? But these are like adult only hotels, because these are only for adults only, and most of them say you have to be 21 and over. There are no kids allowed. Now, I wouldn't recommend this as a stay hotel, because for one night you're going to be paying over $100 and something, almost close to $200 for one night, and that's the overnight stay. To me, I wouldn't do it. Like, if you want your money for your buck, this is something for the locals to come to. They want to have intimacy, and we cut off the light and show you how intimate it can get here with the lights off. You see, you have a lot of you have a lot, the lights and stuff like that. See how intimate it gets and stuff like that. So this is for the locals to actually do. But I wouldn't recommend this for travelers to come out here and say, hey, let's go stay at the next motel, let's go stay at the X, or let's go stay at the Unique, But this is something if you're, husband and wife, and you want to spice up your, marriage or spice up your relationship. Remember when I did the introductory, was it a pretty cool introductory? Of course, where I say if you want to spice up your night, these are places that you go to. You don't want to just go home and be in the bed. You want to go and play in the jacuzzi, if you don't have a jacuzzi, of course. And then you want to have, the colorful lights. You want to have colorful things. Now some of these locations do play pornographic videos, and I'm trying to push away from the wall because they do have a love seat, and above the love seat they have a sign on the wall that tells you different positions you can do on the wall. It's just as YouTube. I'm not trying to make it where beep 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 beep, but yeah. But basically, I have not been to this motel, and these are what now motels are branding themselves as. You still have regular motels where you can go and buy and get a room for a night or a couple of nights, because back then motels was basically, like I said, there was mainly urban motels that they was mostly in the urban black neighborhoods where $40, $50 you spent the night, and that was for like the younger generation. They would say, oh, me and my girlfriend, we're gonna go get a motel and sleep at the motel for a night, and it's only $40. We're gonna grab us something to eat. And that's basically what the motels are. Now motels are starting to come up into the brand of being traveling motels. I know, you have Motel 8, you have Motel 7, or whatever these, other motels you have. Motels are now being branded into the hotel brands. And here in South Florida, when you do motels, you would think of these intimacy rooms, because a lot of their motels down here are intimacy rooms. You do still have regular motels here in Miami, but a lot of these motels, and even if they're not these type of rooms, you still have motels that are say you want the room for a whole night or you want the room for a few hours. So but these rooms here are only hourly rooms. You can get it for the whole night, but then you will be paying out of a pretty penny. This room was basically $79 for 4 hours, and that was like, wow. A year or two ago, you could have got this room for like $60 for like maybe 4 hours. Now it was 60 something dollars for, they would think it was 67 for 3 hours, but I said I'll do the 4 hours, which is 79. I was like, wow, that's a lot, but I paid it because I wanted to do a video of this. I would do another video. It will probably be at the Unique Motel, because I want to show you the blue room and I want to show you how unique setting is. The location I wanted to do it at was Cutler Bay location, which is the next US 1. That was the location I brought my girlfriend to, but at that time they didn't have any jacuzzi rooms, and they said the next jacuzzi room won't be available for 2 hours. And I said, wow, I will be way into the middle of the night doing this, and I don't want to be late doing this. So I decided, okay, let's do this hotel here and stuff like that. Now, when you think of this, I don't know if they have these in other cities. Now, Motel X, the other location I was telling you about, they are branding their locations and outsourcing their locations, because the next motel only has Miami locations. The Motel X, remember I told you I did a video there at one of their Orlando locations. They actually have now, I believe, 3 or maybe 4. I think it's 4 locations now in Orlando. At that time, it was only 2 locations in Orlando when I did it in 2022. Now they have 4 locations, and they also had a location in Atlanta in the College Park area, because I remember my friend who I went up there to Georgia with, and we did a trip up there back in 2022. Go check it out in Traveling with the Round Table, and you'll see my trip to Atlanta. They said it was a Motel X location there in College Park, but now on their website they don't have the location on there no more. So I'm guessing they took that location and they sold that location to another personnel. because they probably wasn't either making money, or it probably, wasn't a right location, so they sold the location off. So now they have 4 locations in Orlando. Now, I wouldn't say Orlando will be the best location for them, because most people who come to Orlando, where they go to the theme parks. Now, those will probably be locals that need to, want to go and have intimacy and stuff. And like myself, I had to stay over for a layover. Instead of paying a whole lot of money for a whole night, I just stayed for a few hours at a motel and say, hey, I got to get up in the morning for that. Now, if you've ever been to any of these, let me know. Comment at the bottom of the page. Let me know if you want to know more about these. You can also comment as well, or you can also email me roundtable00@yahoo.com. Or if you know if your city has any of these type of intimacy motels, which I'm quite sure most cities in most big cities have these. I call them intimacy rooms, which is intimacy adult rooms, because I don't want to say these are sex rooms and stuff like that. I want to keep it professional. So these are mostly intimacy rooms where, you could bring your significant other, whether it's a female, male, wherever you bring in here and stuff like that. Now, these rooms are only for 2 people. Now, they will tell you if you want to bring somebody else, it's an additional charge, and they will tell you that. But, there have been, people that say, oh, they'll bring 2 or 3 more people into the rooms and stuff like that. Now, this is, like I said, I'm only here to video and record the location because it was a request. I'm not here with nobody else. I do have a girlfriend, so don't think that she does watches this. So I don't want nobody to think, hey, you bringing a woman here. No. My girl, she is not with me at the time. I brought her to 2 of the locations. I brought her to the unique location. No, actually 3 locations. I brought her. The first one was the Motel X, which is the location that's nearest to where I stay at, and it's in the Liberty City area. I brought her to the unique location. That was the last location I think I brought her to. And I brought her to the nexx on the US 1, which is the location I wanted to do. Now, I wanted to do that location because that location had rooming quarters, meaning that theirs was like, you see how this looks like an actual hotel, like motel, where the rooms are together? They had the rooming quarters, like the room quarters, like the rooms were separated from each other, like they were separated. And that's why I wanted to do that location, because that was the only location that had, all the rooms are separated from each other. So I was like, that would have been cool. But they didn't have any jacuzzi rooms, and I didn't want to do a regular room. I wanted to do a jacuzzi room because the jacuzzi rooms are the jacuzzi room in locations like this is like a suite. It's like a suite. That's basically what it is. Let me go over here. I'm going to start the water for the jacuzzi so you can see how it is. I've never been to this location, so I can't tell you how this location is. This is the shower. The one thing I can say about the jacuzzis here, these jacuzzis are coexist with the shower. So when you jump out the jacuzzi, it's not like you're going to have water all over the floor and stuff, because you're jumping out into the shower. Oh, that's hot water. That's too hot. Let me put a little bit of cold water in there and stuff. And as you can see, the jacuzzi has colorful lights that goes around the jacuzzi. You can pick the color that you want. It's off. Now it's on. Let me cut it on. See, you can pick the color you want. You want to pick blue, of course, blue is my favorite color. Or you can pick where it changes colors as well. Now, a lot of these motels have different settings and different type of settings. And their jacuzzi settings are different. Like this one has a half window. So that would mean I will have to turn off this air conditioner, because most of them have a full glass where nothing gets out. But since it's going to be steam everywhere, I'm going to turn off the AC, letting it steam up, because you can't catch a cold and stuff like that. Hot and cold, hot and cold. Now that's another thing. This is the refrigerator. It might be cold, it might not be cold. Let me see if I can put my drinks in there. I have water and a Gatorade, and I always put my drinks and have drinks, especially when I'm doing the jacuzzi, because when you have a jacuzzi, trust me, you'll get dehydrated real quick. I don't know if this is on or not. Let's see if it's plugged up. I don't know, but I'll just leave them in there. This window is cracked, so I guess they gave me a cracked window. I'm not really worried about that. But yes, this is the intimacy rooms. This is by request. You know, a lot of people, you know, there was a few people that wanted me to do it and stuff like that. So I always say, if you want me to, if you have anything you want to talk about and you want me to discuss, or you have anything you want me to come and you know, you want to say, hey, review this place, review that place, and stuff like that. I actually like these places because this is like gives you an understanding of when it. Like I said, there are several reasons. Me and my girlfriend, you know, our living situation was different, and you know, she stayed with her family, so I said, okay, let's start. And then not only that, I wanted to do this to spice up our relationship, you know, where, hey, let's get a jacuzzi room and play in the jacuzzi, you know, and, you know, have intimacy and stuff like that. So this is what it is. Now, this location is in Homestead, and like I said, there's the Homestead location, there's Yes Motel that's also in Homestead, there's the Motel X, the nexx motel. Let me break it down. Nexx Homestead, which is this location, the Yes Motel, which is down the street in Homestead, the nexx Cutler Bay, which is the motel I wanted to do that I told you that had the living quarters, the nexx Southwest 8th Street, the nexx Biscayne Boulevard, the nexx Okeechobee Road, and the unique motel Okeechobee Road. And if you want to check out Motel X, you can also check them out as well. They also have a website as well. You can check them out. Now, the prices on the website may be different from what you see at the door. They may have a price on the website that may be different from the price you see here. So I wouldn't recommend the, you know, saying, oh, this is a nice price for this room and stuff like that. I will recommend you come and look at the prices at the window when you come to these motels and stuff like that. So this is it. This is the intimacy motel. This is the nexx in Homestead. This is the jacuzzi room, which is the suite, as they would call it. If you want to call it, this will be called the suite because they have regular rooms. Most of these rooms come with poles and colorful lights and stuff. This one apparently don't come with poles, but it does come with a radio and stuff like that. It does have a telephone. Now the telephone is basically for them to contact you and say, hey, it's time to check out. That's not for you to actually use the phone and call people, because of course this is the 2000s, this is 2024. If you don't have a cell phone or a government phone, what are you doing? Like, basically, that's just for them to call you and say, hey, it's time to check out. You know, your checkout time is nearing, and of course you can't look out the window because they have things on the window. And I kind of like that it has the room tour, because you know most hotels, they have these, motels, they have these little key cards that has different, you know, the name of the company who does key cards and stuff. But okay, this is the intimacy room. We're here at the motel. Well, I'm here at the nexx motel in Homestead. I'm not going to say we because I'm by myself. We're here at the motel the nexx motel here in Homestead. My next motel that I will do will probably be unique because I also want to show you the blue room. I have a video of the cave room, but that's my own personal video, so I'm not going to show you that video because that video that room no longer exists. So it makes no sense for me to have a video and you say, oh, I want to do the cave room, and they no longer have the cave room, because I did it for my own personal use. Because, you know, now that they're gone, it's my little own personal video and stuff like that. But yes, we're probably going to do the blue room at the unique motel. That's going to be for a later episode. It's not going to be no time soon. But yeah, we're going to do that. So I thank you for watching this. If you want to learn more about these motels down here, check out the nexx motel online. Check out the nexx motel. Also, you can check out the nexx motel's Instagram. They have several locations. I don't think they advertise the Yes Motel on their Instagram page, but I know they advertise the Unique Motel on their Instagram page. You can check that out as well. Cause no, Unique actually has a own Instagram page, so you can check out the Unique Motel. They have an Instagram page, but on their website they do promote the Yes Motel and the X Motel. I mean, not the X Motel, the Unique Motel. But Unique has its own Facebook. I mean, own Instagram. I'm sorry. I'm just all over the place because I keep thinking about the X and the Next because they're like two different brand companies. But okay, click like, subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Comment, email me ronterry00@yahoo.com. I am your host, C Money. Stay safe, stay blessed, and I will see you in the next episode. Take care.